here today to discuss my relationship with Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. But to begin, I'll go back a little bit. I'm retired 27 years. When I retired 27 years ago, I had a pension. It was pretty good 27 years ago. Today, it's not too good. If we didn't have Medicare, didn't have Medicaid, didn't have Social Security, I'd be on the corner with a tin cup. Recently, April 5th of this year, 2011, I woke up with a little pain in my side. So they sent me to the hospital, Northern Westchester Hospital, to treat this pain. While I was there, they found out that my heart wasn't working so good, which I didn't know. So I guess I should have recognized shortness of breath. When they cleared up the infection, they then went to work on my heart. I ended up with a pacemaker. 5 days in the hospital cost Medicaid $22,000 and change. Where would I get $22,000 and change? No place. I would have died. I couldn't have gone to the hospital. You know, if you don't have the money, you don't go for the care. Short time later, coincidentally, it was July 5th, I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden my back collapses. Why? Well, back in 1954, when I was a special agent on the job, we had a little ruckus and I hurt my back. Of course, I was young, muscular. My muscles supported the injury. Now, I'm not so young, the muscles are not so strong, and the injury has shown up. Ended up in the hospital, Northern Westchester, for about 10 days. They put me in a bed, fed me painkillers, and did nothing for me. And with all the painkillers, I didn't know whether I was standing up, laying down, flying, or whatever. But that isn't the point. The point is, those few days cost $46,000. Medicare's bill was billed $46,000. That's a total of $70,000 plus, without the doctor bills. Doctor bills and so forth drove it up to almost $80,000 a year. If I didn't have Medicare, I'd be a cripple because I'd be bent over. The bank wouldn't be able to work, wouldn't be able to do anything. Life would be ending. So then they sent me to field home, to rehab. I stayed there for about 10 or 12 days, I've forgotten now, frankly. They charge $400 a day. I don't have $400 a day. I doubt many people in my circumstances has $400 a day. So there's another $5,000, $6,000 there, easy, which I couldn't pay. Medicare took care of it, thank God. Then they sent me to an external physical therapy organization for treatments 3 times a week. And I got 16 treatments because that's what Medicare pays for. And the 16 treatments seem to be adequate because I'm up, I'm walking, got a little discomfort. I'll always have the discomfort unless I get operated on, which I'm not going to do if I can help it. But then again, I don't know how much the physical therapist charges, but it's got to be something like $60 to $100 a day. So there's almost another $2,000. Doesn't include doctor bills. So before you know it, I'm up to maybe $90,000. I live on a small pension. I live on Social Security. And our fine government wants to take that away from us. What would I do if I didn't have Medicare? What would I do if my Social Security was disrupted? Commit suicide? No way. I spent too many years defending this country. My dear wife, back in 2005, contracted that miserable disease called Alzheimer's. So I revamped my house and made a place for her to live at home. And she stayed with me for almost 4 years. She died January 1st, 2009. The thing about that was, when she finally got on the Medicaid, by the way, I was paying $6,500 a month for care before I got on Medicaid. And that's how we qualified, had no money left. We had a home health aide who lived 24 hours a day in my house. That bill ran something like $6,000 a month, also paid for by Medicare. I couldn't pay for it. And they say home care? How do I, an 80-plus-year-old man with my own problems, care for this woman? They need to be dressed, they need to be cleaned, they need to be fed, you got to put them in the shower. I couldn't do those things. If I didn't have Medicaid to take care of the home health aide, I don't really know what I would have done. I can tell you this, my dear wife of 60 years would have had a miserable 4 years, because I did the best I could, but then there's an end to what you can do. I don't know where the people in Washington, what they think of. Do any of those elite people get out of the house and see what the hell is actually going on? I wonder. How can they ever think about taking away Social Security? How can they think about doing away with Medicare and Medicaid? I don't understand it. It's just like the government wants us to die. What can I say about Medicare? We need it. We need it increased. I belong to 3 different senior citizen groups. There's over 100 members between the 3 groups. It's probably about 150. 90% of them are women. The other are probably the healthiest of all the other 10%. I give you an idea how it works out. I went on a bus trip, 51 people on the bus. Guess who was the one? Me. The rest are all women. That's worse than going on a date with 3 girls. Gonna tell you truthfully. But every one of them, every single one of them, men and women, very, very fearful about what is going to happen to them in the future. And then nobody's thinking about the next generation. I have children like you have. Who's going to pay their doctor bills? How are they going to be cared for? I don't know. I mean, they don't have any more money than I have, or I had. They don't have any more money than anybody else has. I mean, they're working people. Yeah, they're semi-professional, but they're working people. And working people have a limited income. They have children. What's going to happen to my grandchildren? How are they going to be cared for? Nobody's dealing with that. No way at all. I have a great-grandchild now, thank God. But think of that, a great-grandchild. Now, that's going to be 70-some years later from now. She'll need health care. I don't care who she is. She's going to need health care. Are we going to have Medicare, or are we going to have what the government's going to do to us? No Medicare. Everybody, they say it's easy. You get Alzheimer's, take them at home, care for them in the home. But they don't provide. It's expensive. I'm only talking about money. I won't talk about the emotional strain of seeing the person you love, who you know is dynamic and caring, and all of the good things we look for a person, and all of a sudden they're nothing, because that's what happens. The brain goes to nothing. You know what the emotional stress is? And then try to take care of them by yourself. You can't do it. I don't know how to approach the government, but it seems to me senior citizens should be out on the street with banners and horns and drums and making them do what's right, instead of sending millions and millions of dollars across the country or someplace out of the country. Let's put it here. We earned it. We worked for it. We fought for it. We deserve it.